Raising a special needs child can be challenging, but the financial strain can feel overwhelming, especially with Singapore being a high cost of living country. I frequently find myself juggling with medical bills, therapy costs, childcare costs, in addition to worrying about how we are going to save for our future. But over the years, we have found some creative ways to save money. And in this video, I'm going to share our top 5 money saving hacks. The first money saving hack is to find cost-effective activities to join. As my son grew up, we wanted to look for group activities for him to have more social interaction. The challenge is that not all activities are inclusive. I started to search online for activities which are affordable, especially sports-related activities, as he is a very active child, and exercise has been proven to improve cognitive functions for everyone. One of the activities I found was Special Olympics. Special Olympics is a global sports movement of people creating a world of inclusion and community, where every single person is accepted and welcome. I contacted them to ask about the activities which are available, because even though Special Olympics support over 30 Olympic sports, every local Special Olympics offer different activities. In Singapore, we have activities such as swimming, basketball, soccer, badminton. The activities are free for all participants. However, the downside is that there is a waiting list for most activities. I currently signed my son up for badminton and he is on the waiting list. Besides Special Olympics, you can also check out other local sports organizations in your country which offer subsidized activities. In Singapore, we have Active SG, an initiative by Sports Singapore, a national movement promoting inclusive and widespread participation in sports. There are many activities such as basketball, tennis, swimming, badminton, yoga, and even specific programs tailored for the special needs community such as swimming and badminton. You can search for Active SG on any browser and it will bring you to the homepage. Under the homepage, click List of Programs and you can see the activity, location, timing, and cost, and choose which is the most suitable for you. The activities are subsidized for Singaporeans and permanent residents. However, please note to read the instructions carefully on whether a trial is required, as the coaches will need to assess each individual for the group lesson. For para-swimming, the fees are $32 for 10 lessons, which is affordable even compared to group swimming lessons at public pools. The lessons are also convenient as there are several locations offering the program. Cost savings aside, I was impressed by the coaches' dedication and patience, and also their experience in teaching special needs learners. The second money saving hack is to find suitable and reasonably priced childcare and student care. Good preschools and childcare is a pain point for many parents with special needs children, as it is very costly even if you are able to find one which can provide an inclusive environment. When I first started to hunt for a preschool, I wanted to find a mainstream preschool that was willing to provide an inclusive environment. It was not easy, and I only managed to find one which cost $1,008 after calling more than 10 schools. When my son entered a special education school when he was 7, I wanted to find affordable student care near my home. But student care centers generally operate in the afternoon, as mainstream schools are run in the morning. I called many student care around my home to ask if they can consider taking my son in the morning and was rejected as they do not operate in the morning. Finally, I found a special needs student care which was reasonably priced, half the price of what I paid for the preschool previously. However, I consider it to be worth the money because special needs student care can have several benefits. The first is obviously having special needs trained staff. The second is personalized attention due to the low student to staff ratio. And they also teach life skills such as showering, simple food prep, such as making sandwiches and drinks. This year, my son switched from afternoon to morning session, which was more convenient to arrange after-school activities for him, and he also had CCA every week. So I asked the student care if they can consider prorating the fees, as my son will not require all 5 days of student care. To my surprise, they readily agreed. The key here is to be open and discuss your issues. And you may be surprised that others can be accommodating towards your situation. The third money-saving hack is finding subsidized healthcare. In Singapore, polyclinics are the primary gateway to subsidized specialist care in Singapore's public healthcare system for Singaporeans and permanent residents. In order to get a referral to the government hospitals to see the specialist, I went to a polyclinic to get a referral letter. And I was referred to a developmental specialist in the hospital. After seeing the specialist, my son was referred to other specialists in the hospital for heart and eye checkup and also therapy services. This saved us 50% of the published rate. But please note that the subsidies are now based on means testing. The fourth money-saving hack was the switch from school bus service to public transportation. In the last 3 years, the school bus fees increased substantially for us. There was a double-digit percentage increase every year. Luckily, at that point in time, we have been training our son to take the public transport for 2 years. Hence, we decided to pull the plug and stop the school bus service, as we only required one-way service and it will cost us $250 for a distance less than 5 kilometers. It also runs on a rigid schedule, and my son will still need to travel by himself on days that he have other school activities. And because of the change from school bus service to public transportation, we managed to save over 90% of the cost. I will go into detail in another video on how we train our son to travel independently. My final tip, the one that has the biggest impact on me both financially and mentally, was transitioning from our formal therapy sessions to a home-based therapy. We started out with physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy at the hospital. And even though it was subsidized, it was still a considerable amount of money. There are also other hidden costs such as stress from juggling work and hospital appointments, as I do not have any helper. There's also increased transportation costs as we need to take Grab frequently just to rush from place to place. And we also had frequent meal outs and takeaway due to the time constraints. After a few years, I knew I had to do something, as it was not good for my mental and physical health to maintain such a hectic schedule. And we also needed to plan for our retirement as well as a financial future for my son. So I started to ponder what are the alternatives to therapy sessions. For physiotherapy, I saved all the handouts from the therapist and did the exercises with my son at home. It not only saves time and cost, I was also able to break out the session into 15-minute intervals, which keeps him engaged. And as he got older, we start to look for sports activities that keep him active and naturally builds his gross motor skills. For speech therapy, I attended the Hannon program It Takes Two to Talk, where I learned to use strategies that motivate my child to interact with me, increasing his opportunities to learn and achieve his communication goals. When he entered special education school, I requested for speech therapy in the school, and he was given weekly 30-minute session. To develop his fine motor skills, I bought toys such as blocks, beads, puzzles to engage him in play at home. When he got older, we got him to help out in simple household chores such as filling the flasks and bottles, washing dishes, and hanging laundry. Household chores improve muscle strength and hand-eye coordination through repeated practice. And it also gives him a sense of responsibility and accomplishment when he completes the task independently. We also started him on piano lessons when he was 5, as he showed great interest in music and had a great sense of rhythm. Music is proven to enhance cognitive function by improving focus and attention, promote hand-eye coordination, and emotional regulation. So, we are not just paying for a fun music lesson, we are also getting a form of therapy. And the most important thing is that he really looks forward to his lessons. If you found any of these tips useful, please let me know which one you are going to try in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.